damn nice if our homegrown teams start focusing on what's right. Everybody outside this state is about this state.
That was California Governor Gavin Newsom snapping at reporters last week. The reporters didn't get the memo that people shouldn't complain when socialism ruins their lives. Here to weigh in, chairman of RescueCalifornia.org, Tom Del Vaccaro, and political analyst and host of Mark Halperin's focus group, Mark Halperin. Welcome, gentlemen, to you both. Tom, we'll start with you. Larry Elder just picked up a big endorsement from Clint Eastwood, and I hear the polls are turning on Newsom. He looks like he's feeling the pressure. I guess Californians didn't get the memo. Democrats are never to be held accountable when they screw up other people's lives. What do you say?
Yeah, he is losing it, and he's spiraling. The latest poll, 51-40 in favor of the recall. He's talking about people outside the state bitching. Am I allowed to say that? But the reality is it's inside the state where the problem is, whether it's wildfires, homelessness, drought restriction. 65%, I'm going to ask Mark if he's ever seen a poll in a blue state where 65% of the people say crime is rising. That's a staggering poll. 48% of the registered voters are Democrats. So his problem is in state with crime, homelessness, cost of living. And, you know, the nation's suffering too. The nation pays for Gavin Newsom and his policies because they've restricted food supply, so that raises food prices. They've restricted energy production, that raises prices across the country. California is a mess, and that's why we're recalling him.
Let's tee that up for Mark. Mark, weigh in on this. How do you handicap the California race, and what about those poll numbers?
Well, I'd add to Tom's list immigration, which I hear from all the time from folks in California, not just those who live down by the border, but also small businesses. Small businesses, whether they're owned by Democrats or Republicans, really struggling, and a lot of them hold the governor accountable. Look, Chris, if you talk to any governor in the country right now, almost any governor, they're exhausted. They've been dealing with the pandemic for a long time. They're touchy. They're tetchy. But I would say Gavin Newsom, he said in that interview, basically, he could be out of a job in a couple weeks, and that's clearly getting to him. The poll numbers are hard to read. This is obviously a very strange election. And Gavin Newsom's hope was that by not having a major Democrat on the second question on the ballot that Democrats could choose, he would be saved. He's clearly now in a fight to save his job.
Turning to the Lone Star State, Texas, 52 arrest warrants have been issued to the Texas Democrats after the Supreme Court sided with Governor Abbott and the Texas Speaker on this. This came after a loopy leftist judge in Austin tried to tell the legislature how to run things. That's not the judicial branch's job. Counter to the Texas Constitution. Today, one socialist senator says she's going to try to filibuster a Texas voting integrity law. On balance, and I'll ask you, Tom, has the Democrats abandoning their post, claiming that they are slaves, vacationing in D.C. and Europe, been a positive for them or a negative in the court of public opinion?
Yeah, you know, in this age of mass media, it's hard to hide from this. Look, America has a long history of legislators skipping town. When Pennsylvania was trying to get the Constitution passed, they had anti-federalists skipping town. So this isn't new, but in this age of mass media, they're partying while others are working. That doesn't work in the COVID era.
Yeah, Mark, but how do you handicap this jaunt by the Texas socialist super spreaders, as I call them? Yeah. Do you think this gambit paid off politically or worked out to their detriment?
Well, look, the story is not over yet, so we want to pass final judgment. But I think they've done a good job of rallying people who already believed in what they believed in. But if the goal was to advance their cause in Washington, to advance their cause in Texas, to build more grassroots support for their point of view, I don't see much indication that this was a success, except maybe for the charter company that got that hefty fee, presumably to fly them to D.C.
Yeah, it was good for charter flights, Mark, and don't forget Miller Lite.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.